Super Saturday stock up. Hey, I am here. I am jazzed up. It is a gorgeous sunny day outside. I'm feeling accomplished. I got so much done yesterday after I did my little Funky Friday flashback. I hope you all enjoyed that. If you got a chance to see it. If you didn't, please watch it again. It kind of makes me laugh when I just started watching the intro. So, on Saturdays, I typically go to the farmer's market in Pinellas Park. It's amazing, and thankful to my friends who introduced me to it, because down there, there's stuff you can't find in the grocery stores, and it's phenomenal. It's awesome. It's called the Mustang Market. It's right next door to the Wagon Wheel Flea Market. And if you ever come to my area, I'll even take you. So they're there Saturdays and Sundays, and sometimes even on Wednesdays. So hi everybody, I see everybody's coming in, you know, sharing is caring, share the love, spread the love. Start sharing all the way. Go on your feed and, you know, if you slide over, you see a little share button, do me a favor. Click on share. Don't just share it to your page, but just share it to start going down and invite everybody who's in your list that start scrolling. Get happy. Share alike. You know, if you're enjoying what I'm putting out there and sharing with you, I'm certain there's somebody else who will also enjoy it. So here's the fun part today. I got some stuff, and probably stuff you've never even heard of. But first I have to show off a prized possession. My baby, I nurtured it from seed. This is my first honeydew, and it's the only one of my melons that didn't get attacked by what I believe is a raccoon out in my yard at some point, because my cantaloupe and my other little baby melon honeydew, I had to put them in the compost pile because they just didn't make it. I mean, literally the honeydew had a chunk bitten out of it. I'm like going, no, because I do love honeydew. Do you do? So, what did I get at the market? I got jalapenos. Jalapeno on a stick. Have you ever watched Jeff Dunham when he does his little, I love comedy. So for me, I can sit and watch comedy forever. And my sister and I have that little joke that when, you know, we used to watch Comedy Central, or no, what was it called? It was Improv, Night at the Improv, before there was ever comedy channels and all these other channels that exist, right? So I got all of these for $1, and this was like a big, I had to put some things away because my dad was visiting, because it's our day is Saturday at the market, and we went earlier. So I'm just going to pick it up with a towel because it's a pretty good amount for $1. So, I mean, that's a lot of jalapenos. It's enough that I can't eat them all at once before they've all fully ripened and turned red. So what I do is I'll chop them up and I'll put them in a container and put them in the fridge. And then I'll sprinkle them up into a salad or whatever, or I'll take it and I'll throw it into some like soups that I make or dressings that I make. I get really creative in the kitchen. It is my passion. I'm all about alchemy in the kitchen, you know. What am I going to create now? I love culturing, right? That's why I make kombucha. I make my own cheeses, and I actually ferment them. And I'll even get in further because I've made lacto-fermented pestos. Oh, those are the bomb. I'm telling you, I've come up with some really yummy creations. Some things I put out there recipe-wise, I used to do it on live, live, I have a bunch of different accounts that I used to blog on. So, to continue, I hope you can see this because I can't necessarily pick this up and carry it. Well, I can do that actually. So I had to pick up another watermelon because you don't know, I might run out. My dad helped carry this in, and I was laughing at him because he's, oh man, this is heavy. Because it is heavy. Ooh. This is the watermelon I got. And what's really kind of sad is I'm going to have to cut this one up and mow into it because I accidentally, when I put it into the cart we were pulling around, it sprayed, it actually hit and it kind of cracked it. So it's super juicy. I already know that because it hit my foot and it wasn't even on top of my foot. Also, I have to get in my fridge. The light doesn't work or I'd show you what my fridge looks like. Unfortunately, the fridge is dark, but that's okay. Has anybody ever heard of sweet leaf? Yes, the door is open. So sweet leaf is this amazing, it's also known as sorrel. When I first tried it, I didn't quite know what it was, but it was familiar. Because when it gets a little riper, so you're going to see there's red stems, and it goes out to this green, right? And you take this. This is it clean enough? I have no shame, especially in nature. It provides. They didn't have it last weekend because I was a little late. So I was needing my fix. This stuff is so good. If you've never had it, this is not something you're going to find in the grocery store. You have to find a farmer's market or grow it yourself. Yeah, a little dirt never hurt. Let me tell you. B12. So this stuff I love in my salads because it changes up the flavor of just a normal green salad. It is just, it's a sweet, a little sour. It's just right. To me, it's got a sweet sour. So that, for $1, that'll last me more than a week, believe it or not. But I'm going to try to use it up sooner because I don't like my food to go bad, especially in the fridge. And I haven't quite got the right setup in my fridge and bags to put them in. So, who all knows what callaloo is? This is callaloo. It's so pretty, isn't it? I'd almost say it's what's growing out back in my yard, but unfortunately that's a totally different leaf. This callaloo, all of this stuff, you want to talk nutrients and minerals and vitamins that you can't get, these are things you can forage for. If you know what you're looking for, you can forage for this. Callaloo, again, it's hard to describe this flavor. This is a little bit more toward this, not quite like spinach, but it's a heartier flavor. It's earthier. It's quite yummy. You can steam this and add a little lemon to it. Yes, callaloo is a popular Caribbean dish originating in West Africa. And it's also known in New Orleans. I know it's known in New Orleans because a lot of good stuff shows up there, right? Of course, I always look for avocados, but I only got 3. Something strange is going on with the whole avocado thing. I don't know why, but I think it's more supply and demand, and more people are getting the idea that, oh my gosh, that's actually good for you, and it's a healthy fat, and it's not going to make me fat. Okay, people, let's debunk the myth. It doesn't exist. Fat doesn't make you fat. Your brain thrives on fat. Good fats. We're not talking animal products. We're not talking animal fats. We're talking about natural whole food fats. You're going to find fats in things you don't even think have fats in them. But ultimately, your brain needs the fat to build the myelin sheath, the protective layer, which, by the way, if you're big into processed foods and sugars, you're going to find that that's wearing away from it. This is where a lot of the neurological diseases happen, is from all that crappy food that people are eating. You know, oh, but it tastes good. No, actually, what you don't realize is that it's got the excitotoxins and everything in it that make you addicted to the flavors. Just saying. But avocados, 1 a day, baby. I love these. I can eat them just alone by themselves with a spoon. But I got sweet potatoes at the market. I got 5 big old juicy sweet potatoes for $2. Now when I say big, I mean like really big. Oh, sweet potatoes. Yum. If you don't eat sweet potatoes or don't like them, I don't know what's wrong with you. This is one of the best. Beta carotene, baby. Antioxidants. You want to stay young? You got to get your antioxidants. Antioxidation. Antioxidants are the things, are the free radicals that break down your body, causing the aging process. Think about that. You want to stay youthful, glowy? Eat the right foods. Put whole plant-based foods in your body. It is a temple. Honor it. And the more you feed it and nourish it, the more you'll thrive, and you'll be drawing people like flies. Haven't you had somebody ever come up to you and go, "You're looking good. What are you doing differently?" Do you ever stop to think that sometimes it could be from the food you're eating? It's again, okay, food, when we eat food, is typically coming from our mind. Our mind dictates what we put in our bodies. Now there's an interesting concept. The idea that what I reach for is going to come from the head. Hey, Govinda! Mwah! I need to come visit you in Malta. Miss your beautiful energy, dear. Everything originates in the mind. Our belief systems, our habits, our routines, our patterns, everything we do starts here. And most people are just so habitual, they're not tapping in, tuning in, and getting turned on to what's streaming through. There's like the cord is cut, the disconnect to the higher realm of who you are. So when you're just reaching for something, ask yourself, what am I thinking about? So this past week, for example, I caught myself, I'm like, yep, I'm eating because I'm in an avoidance met. It's a deterrent, it's a distraction from what I needed to do. I was doing it actually. I was just kind of like interrupting it with little mini distractions, right? We'll chew on something chewy or crunchy or savory or sweet. Because whatever it is in our psyche, it's satiating, the comfort food, the little bit of fear that comes up sometimes creates I need something to calm me, to soothe me. And that's often why we reach for the foods we do. And often, whatever's going on in the mind can be, something triggered an old memory of a pain, and the next thing you know, you're reaching for something you know isn't good for you. Something that makes you feel horrible. Whether it's one of those bad vices, it's not so nice to the system. And you're like, but, I shouldn't be doing this, but you're not tuning into and confronting that pain. So until you can sit with it, feel it fully, allow that energy to move, you can't heal it. Energy needs to stay in motion. So when we reach for foods, we really need to tap into the questioning of ourselves. What is it that has me reaching for this? I can tell you right now, I'm kind of hungry. I hadn't really eaten anything today, except for those 2 little bites just now. And there's this section of this mint chocolate Hail Mary tart that I have in the fridge that I'm kind of like, it's chocolate. And that would be really yummy right now. I might eat that on camera if people are watching. So don't be surprised if I pull that out. Because I'm all about the mint and chocolate mix. OMG, yum, yum, yum. Yummy in my tummy. And for me, it's the flavor, and I know this is part of my own personal soothing, is that I like the way the chocolate melts in my mouth. Can anybody else relate to this? It's like, I don't swallow. I chew my food. I move it around. It's a sensual experience, and this is the part people don't take in either. Because when you eat your food, you need to be fully present, and I mean, like, yes, it is salacious. Salacious Saturday today, right? It's all about savoring the juiciness, the vibrancy, the colors, the flavors, the smells, and really invoking all of the elements. In India, they use all their fingers to eat food, and they're supposed to touch all of the lips. And we don't do that here in the States because most people don't want to get their hands dirty. They use a fork or a spoon. But in India, it's all about the elements. This is earth. This is wisdom. Oh, gosh, now I'm going to forget all of them. But so each finger represents earth, air, water, fire, and ether, right? So they all, when they touch, you're invoking all of that. And there's this whole connection that it really opens up and makes you aware. So when you eat next time, maybe you want to try this. So just the sensation of having chocolate. I feel really bad when I watch somebody, and especially if I share one of my chocolates, and I watch them just pop it in their mouth and swallow it down. I'm like, are you kidding me? Did you even taste that? Are you kidding me, really? I'm like, you didn't really taste it. There's no way you got what I get out of it. And that's like, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit, which might be why I don't share that much. Sharing is caring, but if you come to my house and I'm sharing food with you, that's love, baby. I don't get any more love than when I create something with my hands and I pour my love into everything that I do. And I have friends who tell me my kombucha is the best kombucha they've ever had because the way I prepare my kombucha, and I can't speak for anybody else who prepares kombucha, it is something that is a labor of love. You know, I offer it. I don't sell it. There have been a couple people who have bought it from me because they asked, but I tend to bring it to the yoga studio and I share it with people because to me that's my love offering. And I don't expect anything in return because that's just something I love, and I like to share things that I do with people I love and community, right? So yeah, when you sit down to eat, it is a ritual. That's why we bless our food, to increase the vibrational energy of that vibrant, living, plant-based food to begin with. We want that food to be nourishing. We want to honor everything and everyone that was a process. The earth, the sun, the water, the rain, the sky, there's not anything that doesn't go into it, whether it was turned over, where the dirt came from, the farmers, the tending. It's like you want to ripple out and just send those waves of appreciation and gratitude by blessing the food. Let me tell you, that in itself, even if you're eating the sad diet, bless your food. It makes all the difference. For those of you who may be healers and blessers and Reiki givers, same thing. You've probably already been taught this. Maybe you forgot about it. I don't know. But it's this whole essence of bringing out this ritual, this practice. And people have fallen off the wagon of blessing their foods or saying grace. You know, that's really what it was all about. Not this habitual routine that we got into. So yeah, bless your food and just take every bite in and make them smaller. And you'll find you eat less too. And when you put it in your mouth, just, before you even put it in your mouth, smell it. Then taste it. Let it sit on your tongue before you start to chew it. Let the salivary glands awaken, and you're like, that's kind of going to be hard. To slow yourself down sometimes is one of the hardest things to do. But where do you got to be? If you're rushing through your meal, you're increasing because chances are if you already have yourself ahead of the game, you're living in the future, you're not present in the moment, and you're going to increase your cortisol, sorry, not cortisone, your cortisol in your blood, which does not allow, again, it's fight or flight. So cortisol injects into the blood when you're excited or fearful or in that rush mode. And those are the moments you don't want to eat, because you're just going to pack on the pounds. You're just going to turn it into, it's going to flush through. It's not going to actually get nourished and absorbed by your body. It's the little things like this that make all the difference in the way you look, you feel, and your life shows up for you. So as you're enjoying the flavors, then just slowly start to chew, if you must. Chew, chew, chew until it becomes water. So there's this saying, chew your food until it's water, and chew your water like it's food. And just move it around, because the flavors change as your saliva mixes with the food. And while it's mixing with the food, it's already starting to digest it, and it changes sweetness and saltiness. And I mean, by the time you get ready to swallow it after chewing for it a while, I'm not going to tell you how long to chew, just savor the moment for each bite. And then when you do get ready to swallow, notice, pay attention to how the flavors developed, how they evolved. And then as you swallow, start to feel what it tastes like in your mouth now. I don't drink water when I eat. I usually will drink water before. I don't like to dilute the digestive enzymes and juices that are going on down there. So I may take little sips if I need it. And you can do little sips and swish and clear your palate before you take another bite. But try that. Next time you go to sit down to eat, take your time and see how that unfolds for you. So, going back to my Super Saturday shopping, let me see. Have you ever had an apple banana? It's a manzano banana. Now, when I found these the first time, because I'm all about trying new things. The first time I went with my dad to this market downtown in Tampa. It's actually San Juan, and it's a big commercial place. A lot of restaurants go in there. They have pretty much everything, a lot of stuff that you don't find locally in the grocery stores, but not as good as the farmer's market that I found. So here's what happens. These literally are like an apple and a banana hybrid. It is the most amazing sweetness, appley banana flavor ever. The first time I tried this, I was with my dad. You're not supposed to eat it until they start to pop. If the skin hasn't started to pop, it is not ripe yet. So it is from the Philippines. Very cool. So when you eat this, OMG, asm in the mouth, seriously. Food for thought. Try some new type of banana. Who the heck likes these Cavendish things? They're losing their flavor anyway. I'm kind of over those. I try to find bananas like the baby bananas and the manzanos, which are getting a lot more popular. But let me tell you this. If your banana doesn't have seeds in them, they've been hybridized for so long, even if they're organic, because apparently there's a whole, there's always a little slip knot for the whole organic side of the house. But if it has seeds in it, it means it's still good. It's still in its own family. Okay? Very highly recommended. These are amazing. And if you make, you stick them in the freezer and you make some nice cream, banana ice cream, you don't even need sweetener. This is sweet enough on its own. In fact, you never need sweetener, actually. Now, this is something I guarantee the majority of you are going to be like, what? What do you think this is? Any idea? I know you all know what this is. This is a given. I have a bigger one back there. I have a big bowl I keep all my stuff in. Well, what will fit in it, because I tend to carry, I stock up a lot. So, and I'm going to plant these. I'm excited. This is white turmeric. This, you've all heard of turmeric. Anti-inflammatory, Viking horn, that's a good one. I like it. The white turmeric is special because, and it's not cheap, if you do find it, not easy to find. So this white turmeric is I don't know how much more potent, but from what I was told by the woman at the market, she said, oh yeah, we make a paste and we put it on an area that if we have pain or inflammation, right? Pain is inflammation. The body is trying to heal that space, that area, wherever you're inflamed. It is, it's like 100 times more potent. But the flavor is something to get used to. It is very floral, and you don't need a lot. And I have put it in my salads, just grated a little bit, mixed in with ginger and all. And I've thrown them in some of my soups and some of my dressings. I am going to do a little bit more research because I'm wondering if I can maybe do a little culturing of it, a little fermenting, and see what I get out of that. Because I just find, there's so much, sometimes fermenting things also brings out more of the healing properties. So white turmeric will also, if you have any pain, if you're somebody who's dealing with some serious pain, unbelievable stuff, okay? Now I have another one. It looks completely different because this is hard. I mean, this exterior, once you cut through it, and you know how when you cut ginger, it kind of gives a little bit of it dries out on the edge. It's easy to kind of cut off. But this stuff, when it hardens, I'm going to show you. It's like rock hard. It makes that noise. It hardens over. I don't know if you can see that very well. It hardens to the point where I definitely wouldn't use my ceramic knives on it, because I have been known to break ceramic knives on things, and sometimes not necessarily the smartest things. Now this one's a little bit lighter on the skin texture, but this is purple or black turmeric. So I bought both of these from a woman from Laos, Laos. Lovely lady. I always go and say hi to her and her daughter. And again, whenever you got these little babies growing, it's going outside in the dirt. I love my garden. I have so much fun. Because I'm always curious to see what I'm going to be able to nourish from seed, or I'm better with seeds for some reason. But I did find today, as I was cleaning up the cantaloupe leaves and vines, because they're pretty much done now, that I have a ginger that finally sprouted. I was looking out there thinking it just didn't take, but I had a sprout, because when I accidentally thought I was pulling grass out of the pot, because the grass seems to show up everywhere around here, I pulled it out and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's ginger. And I'm like, hey, Dad, smell this. It's ginger. He goes, stick that back in the dirt. My dad is so cute. He's like a little kid. I'll have to have a video with him one time, and maybe we'll do a little side-by-side if he'll let me. That's the key, if he'll let me. Because sometimes he gets cute, and sometimes like, turn that thing off. I can't be bothered. Don't. No. You know, he's a little shy too. So, but maybe he'll get used to this. This one's a little dried out, but this is galanga. It's another type of, is from the ginger family. Smells really good. Also like a floral ginger flavor. So if you have ginger, you'll find that ginger is kind of spicy. Did you ever bite into some ginger? It's a little spicy. Yeah. A lot of times if you're one of those people, vegan or not, who's had sushi, they always have the little pink ginger off to the side, which is dyed, by the way, because it doesn't come like that. They tend to add sugar and vinegar to give it the pickling, because that's basically what that is pickled ginger. and the sugar is what cuts the spiciness of it. So this is another good one. Now, all of these roots, all of these herbs are phenomenal for if you have inflammation, if you have a tummy ache. I'm going to tell you, you just chew on some of that. It's actually going to take effect rather quickly. And ladies, if you're on your moon cycle or you're coming up and having cramps, even if you're having regular constipatory cramps, let's say, ginger. Take the ginger, chew, chew, chew. Migraines too, even though I do have my occasions where nothing helps. It's phenomenal. It is an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. It is anti-aging, anti-everything, okay? It's antiseptic. I mean, come on. Good stuff, peeps. Now, I am a zucchini fan, so I love when I can get, and especially these. These are not as easily or common in the grocery stores. Usually it's the darker green ones, or I like the yellow squash as well. And that's what I like to spiralize with. So this is just 2 of them, but I had gotten 3 of the little cartons of them, which had at least 3 of these in them, for just a couple dollars. So, what else? So glad you're joining me. Please share. Make sure you are hitting the share, the love button. To me, the share button is the love button. Oh yeah, this is another one. I don't know if I remember ever seeing these when I was growing up. So these are long beans. And when I say long, do you believe me? Long string beans? I mean, growing up, we all know string beans. But had you ever seen them this long? And they didn't have the purple one that I really like. But they had the dark green and this other one. And I love these. I'll take one and just, well, yeah, I'll take one and just start eating it. And then a bean popped out. These are so sweet. Yummy. Oh my gosh. Yep, found it. That might keep me away from the Hail Mary tart. I say might. Clearly I'm still thinking about it. Anybody out there have any particular favorites when they go to the market? Sharing is caring. Tell me. Tell me what you like. What's your flavor? Tell me what's your flavor. Now this, and I need to put it in some dirt, or not some dirt. I could actually. These grow wild. So if you ever get a chance to go foraging, this is something a lot of people don't realize, that when a particular plant, wild, is more life-promoting and potent, if it's kind of like those weeds you think you pull out of your yard. Dandelions are a great example, okay? We all know now that people are kind of getting tuned into what's good for them, they're finding that, oh, dandelion greens are great in a smoothie and they're really healthy for me. Well, the hardier the plant, the harder it is to pull it out of the ground and get rid of it, because it always keeps coming back, and you know that. I know growing up it was like, except for when I was a kid, I didn't mind them. I thought it was kind of cool that the flower would cause coloring, actually. Hey there, Itza, how you doing? You just showed up in time to see the purslane. So purslane, oh my gosh, I don't know. I think it's very much it's a succulent, which means they thrive with a lot of water and can pretty much go anywhere. Oh my gosh, yes, this is like super high in vitamin C and stuff that you can't even imagine. This stuff will cure, you could just eat this. and you would thrive throughout the rest of your life. This stuff is so good. So the flavor. Who doesn't like a little lemon? So when you eat this, oh my God, I almost forgot to tell you, this has the fatty acids that everybody thinks they need to go find in fish oils and stuff. Crazy. That's better than fish oil. If you're one of those people trying to find a fish oil, I just told my dad this today. He told me something about buying fish oil. I'm like, you buy fish oil? I was telling him how fish oil is so bad out there. There's no fish oil that doesn't have soy in it. I would highly avoid it. Highly recommend avoiding it. Because number one, you don't know your source. You don't know what kind of fish. I don't eat fish very often, once in a blue moon. And I don't even know if I'll even have it again, so I never say never, right? Fish oil. First off, a lot of fish farming is coming from fish that are fed soy. Then you're turning around and you're getting fish oil with soy in it too. I mean, this is getting so ridiculous. It's prevalent in the country that they add it to everything. They put soy in everything that's processed because it's a cheap filler. So the price you're paying is not what you're getting in the end. That's what ends up happening. We think we're getting one thing and we're actually getting duped by these fillers that are, taking up the space of the weight or whatever, however they determine the full volume or content of the product that you're receiving and eating. So I wouldn't touch fish oil if I were you. Who knows, heavy metal too, because that's where the soy problem comes into play. Cod liver oil, oof. Yeah, I still would avoid all that stuff. I don't care if it's in capsule or not. Because then there's a question of what's the capsule made of. A lot of people were really up on this whole beef broth thing, right? Like they're pushing this whole beef broth idea that it's good for building immune systems and everything. But I want you to consider a lot of the heavy metals that people are getting in their system that are causing autoimmune diseases and problems in people is from heavy metals, heavy metal toxicity. So if you have a problem with heavy metals, the last thing you need to do, especially like I had the mercury teeth fillings, amalgam fillings is the other name, and that apparently was causing me a lot of problems until I had them removed. But you just notice, I mean, it gives you the brain fog. Anything heavy metal wise is going to totally kill your brain. I mean, really. Metal, lead, arsenic, all this overabundance of toxicity in your body, and you have a choice of what you put in it, makes all the difference on whether you're thriving or just sluggish, dying, right? So some people will say everything in moderation, and then they'll say moderation in moderation, because it's a little, it's actually kind of I'm going to say that a lot of people use phrases like that as an excuse to validate their vice. Because if the vice isn't nice, but they're addicted to it, they got to find some way to validate themselves and continuing doing it. So, going back to the heavy metals, you want to be really attentive to what you put in your body and the source from where it came. This stuff will help carry it out of your body. And if you've never had purslane, go and find it. You probably have it growing outside somewhere. That's how prevalent this is. And portulaca, I think, is the Latin term for it as well. It's from the portulaca family, which also make really pretty flowers. What else did I get? I got the watermelon. Ooh, and so Dad always goes for the coconut. I usually go for the fresh squeezed cane juice. Oh, ooh, heaven. And the lady's really sweet because she'll put some ginger and some lime in it. and she will pick out the really deep purple one for me because it's sweeter. But they're gone for 2 weeks, so unfortunately I won't see them for at least another 2 weeks. So what I do with the meat, because Dad and I shared the water today because I didn't get my cane juice. It's okay. I take the meat, and I love to make coconut yogurt, and I have my own way of making it. And typically you need some form of a probiotic to turn it over. So I have capsules of probiotics in the refrigerator right now, and that's what I'll do, is do 1 capsule. But you have to be careful, because if you do more than that, you could end up with this explosive, again, like I said, alchemy in my kitchen. My dad has actually teased me, and I know he just, on the one hand he teases me, but I know he's kind of like in awe of some of the stuff I do. Because I'll let it sit overnight on the countertop, and I have to put something underneath it because I've had it kind of mushroom up because it expands to the point where it actually, even if I put it in a jar, it seems to find its way out of the jar. So I'll have like the plate underneath the coconut yogurt, and then this pool, and then maybe like it coming out of it, which I go in and I clean it up because it's really good. And I flavor it using a couple different spices and things like that. Sometimes I make it with chocolate, little chicory root, maybe carob. I like to change things up because it's all about experimenting. So my kitchen is also a laboratory. I'm always experimenting, trying out new things, because that's what it's all about, and it's exciting. I used to be into the sad diet. I ate all that wonderful food, ate at Michelin-rated restaurants and beautiful establishments where they catered and wined and dined you, and the different course meals and everything. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm happy I had those experiences, but I'm even more grateful for the knowledge and the wisdom that I've acquired over the years. And even my father pointed that out to me today. He said, we saw an elderly lady who seemed to be moving really slow. She was elegantly dressed today, but she didn't appear to know like what she was doing and where she was going. There was a delay in her. You could see it. And I had noticed it from the moment I saw her, and he said that, and I said, well, I have a lot of compassion for that woman, because I could smell she had some form of a talc powder on her. And I stay away from people who have the smell of powder because it gets so in my nose and into my throat and into my lungs. I remember one time in a museum, I'm walking behind somebody, I'm like, they were long gone, and they left literally a trail of their powder, their deodorant. The sprays that have powder talc in them? Totally toxic. Especially for the lungs, let alone underneath your arms and going in with the aluminum and all the other crap that's in them. Again, another heavy metal, the toxicity. You choose what you put on your body, in your body. You have to be wise and concerted in your efforts of how you treat yourself. So he turned to me and he said, he goes, you need to be really grateful because you've amassed a lot of information over the years, and so you're informed, you're aware of what is going on. And so I was like, thank you, Dad. I know, and I'm grateful for that. So we're all doing the best we can, and we don't always have the exposure to the things that we need to be exposed to in order to bring us into awareness of the little things. That's why I am here. I am here to bring you as much awareness and information as I possibly can, so that you're not having to repeat the same thing over and over again. And if you're open, you're going to receive it. If you're not, you're going to find it in your own time. That's the beauty of life. I don't have to force this. It's going to arrive to who needs to hear it. And that's why I say sharing is caring. So the more you share it out to your friends, go down your list, click the share button, and invite as many people as you can. Just keep on scrolling, because you never know whose life you're going to touch just by sharing a video. It's the little things in life, and it only takes 1 second. So if you don't think you affect or inspire or reach or touch another person, trust me, sometimes just touching your screen is touching people you have no idea, right? So if you're enjoying what I'm bringing you for information, make sure you're spreading the love. Make sure you're giving it out there. Are you watching me? I'm just checking. Okay. So, moving on, let's see what else I got. I love tomatoes, and I love the heirloom varieties. Oopsie. So I got these yesterday at Nature's Food Patch, which is about 7 minutes up the street from my house. It's another one of the many healthy grocery stores that we have in this area. We're really blessed because the competition is expanding to the point where I'm going to tell you right now, these grocery stores can't compete anymore. So Amazon just bought out Whole Foods. This is going to be interesting to watch because Amazon is a great company and they're very forward thinking. So let's see where Whole Foods ends up going and what direction. I'm thinking they're going to be delivering food to my house. That would be very cool. So for example, we have a Whole Foods up the street, less than 10 minutes from me. I have Nature's Food Patch, another one the other direction, 7 minutes up the street. I have Earth Origins, not so crazy about them. They're a chain. It used to be Palm Harbor Natural Health Food Store or something like that. And when they bought out, they didn't change the sign for the first year, but I saw the prices skyrocket, like $2 on a I used to try to eat this. I didn't know it was still a problem, but it was the Ezekiel raisin bread. It jumped in price like $2. I'm going, what? That's crazy. So, you know, you got to shop around, and your dollar really is voting. So wherever you shop, they have to meet you. If you refuse to pay a certain price, then they're going to be forced to lower it if you go elsewhere. Hey, the competitors, they're charging less. So I'm an active disabled Air Force veteran. So what I do is I get 10% off at Earth Origins, and every once in a while when I do go there and they have something that's reasonably priced, I also get that price. But they price match. So if someplace has it cheaper, I get the price plus the 10% off. And then if you're a senior citizen or something like that, they also give that discount. And in certain places, we'll have certain days of the week where they do discounts. I know that Nature's Food Patch usually does it one day out of the month for the seniors, or they may have changed it to all the time now. But they still haven't implemented the discount for veterans or military, for example. And now I heard we have Sprouts opening up the street a little further north of where the Palm Harbor place is, Earth Origins, and I'm like going, oh yeah, baby, bring it on, because the more we get competition, the more they're forced to reduce and accommodate to us consumers, because we are big consumers, especially when our food is concerned, right? So, with that said, I do a lot of shopping around. Another place my dad and I like to go to, and I never would have bought anything in this place when I was living in Europe, is Aldi's. If you don't have an Aldi's near you, I feel for you. If you do and you don't know about it, you need to get in there. We've been going there for years since I came back from Europe. And in Europe, it's actually considered one of the more expensive places, but then in Europe, I mostly shopped down at the markets, or my guy down the street. When I lived in Naples, Italy, I would go to a specific guy. I love persimmons. And when persimmons were in season, I would get a crate of these persimmons. And they were bigger than the size of my hand. And they were called baba. Ooey gooey, juicy, like the flavor is, it's like brown sugar, but not granular. You'd have to slurp it up. It was so good, and it had a very thin skin when it was fully ripe. And I would get them from him for like €5 or something. And I'm talking about a big old, and I'd get more than one because I knew I would go through them. And that could be my dinner because those are really filling. Here in Florida, we have jackfruits, and they grow in, well, my girlfriend has one growing in front of her house, and her neighbor has an actual tree. And I know they're bigger. Miami, fortunately, has like the perfect climate for pretty much everything. and mangoes are in season. So we're walking around the market and we're looking at the mangoes, and they're all like $1.25. Oh, you're good, Carl. You got 300 yards from your house. You can't beat it. But they're not always the best for everything. So we're walking through and I'm looking at the mangoes. It's mango season. Mango season. They should be cheaper. We're asking prices and I'm just shaking my head going, that doesn't make sense. It's mango season. Why are they so expensive? So I just, I got so much. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to waste food. I'm pretty good at eating what I get, but I don't like to waste food especially. And I want to use it up in the proper time so that I'm not like using dead food at that point. So we go into Aldi's and he had a few items he still needed. And he always goes, I realize maybe I should have gotten those when we were at the market. That's okay, no big deal. And I did need lemons that I had forgotten to get while we were at the market. So I got a bag of lemons, which were cheaper at the market, but I forgot about them. So it's okay. I think that I only saw them once. And I happened to notice they had mangoes on sale for 49 cents. And I said, it's kind of weird that it's in season. And Aldi's usually, and this is one of the things they promote, is they will get local produce first. So the majority of the stuff is going to be local. But the strawberries were coming from California, so just saying. So I decided, what the heck? These are going to take a while to ripen because the ones at the market were pretty ripe. But these are Tommy mangoes, which aren't always my favorite. And I got these, I got 6 of them. So 6 for 49 cents. Come on. It's for those of you out there who are on the fence and saying, but it's so expensive to eat plant-based and organic. Well, there's some things you don't have to buy organic. And you just have to use your own, you gauge it yourself. You'll notice the difference if there's any pesticides on your food. You'll notice how it makes you feel, and it's not from the fruit itself as much as it is the stuff they're using on it. So, you make lemonade, Carl. Or you add it to kombucha with some ginger like I do. So, I think that's all I got at the market. Hold on, let me check in the refrigerator. Just in case. Beans. Yep. I think I covered it all. In fact, I found also I haven't seen sprouted, I love sunflower sprouts and radish and broccoli sprouts and pea sprouts. So last weekend there was a woman that came all the way from Brooksville, which is not a close drive to begin with, and she had all the sprouts. So I got a bunch of those sprouts last weekend, and she told me that she wasn't too happy with the location, and the farmers market is a lot cheaper. I mean, people don't want to pay a lot when they go there because the prices are reasonable. I mean, it's quite the Asian, Hispanic, there's quite the mix of the farmer vendors, and they're all amazing. They're just really helpful, and I love them so much because when I go, I say hi to my particular vendors and I give them hugs, and they tell me, hey, how are you? You're so beautiful. And I'm like, oh, they're so sweet. And you build up this, again, community rapport, and they give you these wonderful details, and you learn about new things. I mean, you can't beat that. That's, to me, is priceless. I'm willing to pay a little bit more for that. Oh, I did get cilantro. That was the other thing I got. And even if I paid a little bit more for it, that's okay because I got such a great connection there. So, yeah, you get these great finds. And this lady was telling me they had to drop the price on their sprouts. So they were looking into other venues and other locations. So I told her the better place to go would be Pierce Street Market, which is up the street from me also in Clearwater. And they're open till I think 4 o'clock today. So they're under the bridge. Under the boardwalk. Actually, the bridge. So yeah, there's so many options in my area. And I encourage you to go out and find what is available. Shop around, see what you got. If you got markets, especially up north. Let me tell you, the things that I miss the most, like nectarines are in season right now, so you could still probably get peaches, apples and things like that, but they don't necessarily grow in Florida. So a lot of stuff has to be brought down here. Although we can find nearly everything down here, it's not always convenient because it's not from here. I mean, buying local means it didn't have to go through 1,000,001 hands and transportation, and it's more sustainable, obviously. The sustainability of buying local is that farmer, table, my hands, clearly. But I understand it's not always, it's not easy. It's not easy for people who are, let's say, for example, I always think about, they talk about the Eskimos, and I'm thinking, wow, God love them. They can live that kind of life, because that's a life. That's a life that I could never understand. So it's not like you're going to go out and find a mango tree out there. Excuse me. And always make sure you're hydrating. It doesn't matter if it's humid, it's cold. You always got to drink your water. Oh, something tickled my throat. So, anybody out there go to the farmer's market today and find any great finds? Do me a favor, after the video, post what you got on underneath the video. That would be very cool. I want to see what you bought. If you went to the grocery store, show me what you got. And so today I'm supposed to, I may or may not, go down to the Salvador Dali with a girlfriend, and then later this evening at 6:30 we have a vegan potluck in our area. So any of my friends in this area, the vegan potluck is actually at the Jewish temple up in Palm Harbor, and it's at 6:30 tonight, and I'm excited because I haven't been to a potluck in a long time, and it's fun to meet new people and see what they're making. So of course it's not fully gluten-free because I read the invitation and the information, but you know, we'll see, because whenever I go to those environments, when it just says vegan, it could mean a whole slew of junk food too. And for me, like I say, I don't touch anything soy. I don't touch anything gluten. I avoid meat and dairy, because the other day, for example, I noticed my face was erupting in a couple areas. And I realized on Sunday when I was eating some food, there was some cream in it, and I didn't realize it at the time because nobody told me until afterward. And I was like, at that point, okay, well, it was delicious. I thought it was coconut cream. So I had a couple little breakouts, you know, pus. So, and I noticed my digestion was a little bit funky too, but that's okay. It doesn't kill me. I'm going to survive. I make it through. And it's one of the reasons I typically don't eat out very often, because I am trying the best I can to keep my body clean. And if something should happen, I'm not going to like freak out totally. I mean, that's your choice. You can respond or react. And when someone makes something from their hands, their heart, their love, and in this case I knew it was delicious. It tasted vibrant. It was amazing. And I'm not going to attack the person for feeding me something I didn't intend to eat. And that's one of the other keys with, don't become dogmatic with your diet. Take it step by step. Just be aware of what you're eating. Even if you're eating something that's unhealthy, bless it. Enjoy it. I had a friend of mine who was visiting, and he went out to eat with my father, and they wanted steak. And I wasn't going to say anything. I'm like, you go do whatever you got to do. And I had said, you know, the most important thing you can do is bless your food. And please, when you're eating your food, enjoy every morsel. Because you have to identify that if you're going to eat meat, you have to bless and just be so grateful for the animal that gave its life for you to be able to have that. If you're going to go that route, you have to be all the more grateful. Because taking a life it's another level. That's another level. And that's why, for me, I look at the whole scenario. You can't tell me this animal was humanely slaughtered. Because if the animal is aware it's dying, it's still going to get the injection of cortisol into its bloodstream. And whatever fear and sadness it was experiencing up until the point of its death, you're going to ingest that. You're going to take in that. So if you're a person who's still eating meat, I want you to truly consider that when you consume that meat, you are consuming all of what that animal went through up until the moment it arrived on your plate. It is full of fear and aggression and sadness, just as if you were going to die and you knew it was your last moments. It's not like the animal's like, boom, dead. They're a lot smarter than you give them credit. And everything that animal went through is what you're putting in your body. People are living in fight or flight mode right now. So many people are anxious, high-strung, stressed out, never considering that they're adding to that with their animal products. So be very conscious about what you put in your mouth, in your body, in your temple. Honor it, bless it, appreciate it, indulge, and just really savor it. Because these are the nourishing love bites for your temple, your body, your soul, this amazing vessel that we have to experience this vibrant life. I mean, come on. Life's too short. I hope you're getting value out of this. It's fun for me because I'm sharing all of this stuff from my kitchen, which is where I do spend a lot of my time, most of my time. Sometimes I'll be in here for hours and going, wow, what am I doing? What have I gotten done? What have I got? Because it's just such a place of love for me. Because I enjoy creating. Because I'm like a little kid. When I came into the plant-based lifestyle, I was just like a little kid in a candy store all over again. Oh my gosh, see what I can create. There's even more. I know this stuff goes up and keeps on going, because when I did Matthew Kinney's culinary class, it was kind of opening up my eyes to a couple little, like there's these, the way you infuse things. I mean, there's some high-end machinery involved in a lot of it. But man, I'm like, woo, that's what I want to do. I don't even own a dehydrator, believe it or not. Mostly because I haven't purchased one, and I really haven't needed one, even though it would be nice. We'll see, maybe down the road. Because I do believe in hydrating yourself first, and a lot of times you're going to take out the moisture and you're going to need it to be put back into your body. So dehydration is kind of like, yeah, it's good to make crispy and crunchy, because we crave certain textures of food, right? So that's why it's so important to really feel the food in your mouth when you're eating it, as I said before. If you're joining me late, please re-watch this, because you're going to get a whole lot more information about how to eat your food. And only eat until you're really full. I mean, I have moments where I'm looking at it and I have this little bit of my salad left, and I'm like, it tastes so good. I don't want to waste it. So it goes back in the fridge. And that's okay, because then it's perfect for those moments where I come home again later and go, okay, now I've got to prepare something and I'm starving, like right now. And I reach in and go, oh, I can eat this before I make the next salad. Because my salads are pretty enormous. I mean, we're talking big bowl. And they're pretty robust. So, I do want to share a couple other books with you too. I forgot about switching the camera. Unfortunately, this is going to be backwards. But this is the book I first bought when I started transitioning. As you can tell, the binder on it and everything, it's like, woo, highlighting big time, lots of yellow in there. This book really turned me on to the awareness of stuff. I mean, it's on top of a lot of my own personal research, because I believe in researching and looking and learning. And I'm telling you, this book by Susan Schenck, it's phenomenal. She's got a wealth of information in here. You know, she talks about her own story and has recipes in it as well. And even when I started out on raw, a lot of stuff I had was a lot of oily stuff. So there was a lot of olive oil being added, or coconut. Yeah, to be totally honest with you, I don't use a lot of oil anymore. I do use more of the whole, like avocados. In fact, when I make my lacto-fermented, yum, I have to make that. It's been a while. My lacto-fermented pesto, I use avocados in it. And it is so yummy. I do tend to add a little bit of oil to it. But oh, it is the bomb. Very flavorful. So what I usually will do before that is I make something called Rejuvelac. Cabbage Rejuvelac. There's another type of Rejuvelac out there, but because I'm allergic to wheat, I can't do the wheat berries. And I don't think I would want to anyway, because wheat's just too hard on my system. And it is hard on everybody's system. I mean, they modified it years ago to be disease resistant. So, cabbage Rejuvelac, cabbage sauerkraut. Cabbage has this natural enzyme that breaks itself down and actually will ferment without needing a probiotic, without adding salt, without adding anything but water. So I'll get my big glass bowl, and I mean it's a big glass bowl. I'm going to put this back. And the glass bowl, what I do is I chop up the cabbage, put it in the blender, blend it up with the water, but I don't fill it fully. I just want to pulverize it, put it in the bowl, and then add more water to it. And what happens is in 3 days, when you do it the first time, 3 days it will ferment. So then you strain it through a strainer, keeping the liquid, and I usually will keep the pulp in a jar and use it as a starter for stuff. I have it, because it's more toward the sour of the ferments, I don't use that in my yogurt. But when I do make yogurt and I have consecutive batches, I will use a spoonful from a previous batch to start the next one instead of probiotic, because then I've already got it started. And then I'll take that juice, and believe it or not, now we all have smelled sauerkraut, and cabbage does not smell the best in the house, and it will stink up the house. I'm just warning you. But I got all sorts of smells that sometimes come out of my kitchen too. But the flavor of it is sweet. And it's another probiotic you can use in your belly that's extremely healing and good for the gut. I also make kombucha too. That's my other passion. If you're interested, I'll even do a video on how to make kombucha. But I need to see some interest first, and you need to let me know. And if you want scobies, I got lots of those. I got lots of kombucha starters. If you're interested in starting it, if you're in my area or not in my area, I will give you a good rate because I got lots of them to share. So, other than that, I hope this has been helpful, enlightening, informative, loving, from my heart to yours. So grateful for all of you. So grateful for Tom, because most of you have come to me through Tom. It's all about spreading the love, sharing the love, being the love, shining love. So I hope you're having an amazing Saturday. I might tear into a Hail Mary tart, or I don't know what yet, because I got to eat something. I got to get something in my belly. Get in my belly. So, have an amazing afternoon. I love you. Many blessings. And sign up for Italy. Come with me. The 2nd through the 7th of July. Under the Tuscan sun. Yoga. Bye-bye.